Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is part 12 of Stuck Together. Enjoy. Well, if you're really certain that the heat signature hero is involved, then I'll put my feathers around the place to catch any talk of us, Hawks offered. Please, you nodded. We need to stop this immediately. Roger, Hawks replied with a salute. Then I can proudly announce that you're mine. Your heart did a flip and you smiled at him. You were looking forward to being claimed as his as well. After coming up with a few more things to help solve the mystery, you both left to head back to the office together. At first you had insisted on turning back up at different times, but Hawks said that turning up together would make people suspicious and get them talking, which is what he wanted. Don't look suspicious, he said to you as you both touched down in front of the building. I'm not suspicious, you don't be suspicious, you whispered to him. He could tell you were on edge, so he decided to lighten the mood a little. And then he dropped and rolled, he stated loudly, making a cover story as you entered in together. Funniest thing I've ever seen. Oh, you forced a laugh, keeping an eye on those around you. You quickly noted who was there and saw a scowl on one of the female co-workers' faces as you passed her, walking beside Hawks. 3 o'clock, you whispered to him. He nodded, noting that he had heard you. You were kinda on edge for the rest of that day, watching your back and not knowing who to trust. It was exhausting. So by the time work was done, you were well and truly ready to go home. But then Hawks suddenly appeared beside you as you were flying, and you nearly punched him mid-flight. Don't just come at me in the dark, you screeched at him. I just calmly came up beside you, but you're a bundle of nerves, he laughed. We need to discuss some things. I found out some stuff. You did? What is it? Who is it? You asked, nerves frayed and flapping in the breeze. Calm down, frazzled feathers. We'll talk at your place, he said, following you to your apartment. Okay, spill, you demanded once you were behind closed doors. Not even a welcome, come in, he asked cheekily. Stop stalling, I need answers, you snapped. I've been on edge all day. I can tell, he said. Make yourself a coffee and then we can chat. Do you want one as well? You offered. Well, if you're offering, he replied with a smile as he sat down at the kitchen table. Yep, okay, I'll make, you talk. Go! Okay, so, boss and receptionist are the only two people who know your new address, correct? He asked. You thought for a second. Yeah, that's right. Co-workers know that I've moved to an apartment, but they don't know the address. I was going to do a housewarming party in 2 weeks' time, once I've unloaded and packed stuff away. There are still so many boxes here. You looked over the counter to behind Hawks, where the boxes were still piled high. So, Hawks deducted, those two should be on our suspects list unless we can prove that no one else knows where you live, yes? Yes, you stated. Well, one of our co-workers also knows where you live, and I suspect it's because they took a peek in your file. Who? Do you know who? You asked, getting excited that he had a lead. Yes, I do. You ready for this? It's Manahara. How do you know? You asked, pouring the freshly boiled water into the 2 mugs, with instant coffee in the bottom and hearing it hiss as the water hit the powder. Well, I dusted the filing cabinet with your details in it, took the fingerprints off it, then bought drinks for the people around the office and got their prints, then ran down to the forensics and asked them if they could do an urgent match for me. They found the boss, the receptionist and Manihara's prints on the cabinet. Why would she be sneaking in to get details? You asked him. Well, that's a good question. But here's something else which I didn't think was related, but it might be. Manihara asked me to date her a week before you and I started dating, and I turned her down. Ooh. Oh, well, this is getting interesting then, isn't it? You mused. And Manihara and the heat signature hero are close friends, Hawks added. You stopped stirring the coffees and looked at him. I've got it. I figured it out, you said. Let's hear it then, he encouraged. Now, like I said, you started, picking up the coffee mugs and bringing them over to him at the table with sugar and milk. Manihara is jealous and she wants you and I to not be together. Heat signature hero has confirmed that you and I are together and it's making her angry. So she has somehow convinced the boss to make this new rule so that if we get caught, we get fired. That's pretty much what I thought too, Hawk said, taking a sip of his coffee. But I'll go you one further. Manihara is now trying to get into the boss's pants. Really? You asked. What makes you say that? My feathers have heard some things, he said with a chuckle. But that's beside the point. What we need to do now is expose her. She just used Q as a scapegoat. That's not fair. No, I agree, that's not fair. And what she's doing to us isn't fair either because it's driven by jealousy, he said, taking a sip of coffee. Feel any better? Hawks asked after a comfortable silence hung in the air for a bit while you both enjoyed your coffee. Yes, thank you, he said with a grateful smile. We just need to bring this operation undone. We do. I'm going to go straight for the jugular, Hawk said. Oh no, what are you planning? You asked him. I'm going to confront our boss about it. I don't know if he'll admit to Manihara talking in his ear, but if I push him into a corner, he might just do so. Okay. You have no fear, do you? You asked him, giving him a look over the top of your coffee mug as he went for another sip. Nah, told you. I've got plans to run my own agency and I want you with me, so we'll be fine. I've nothing to lose, but the boss has everything to lose, Hawk said. But how are you going to push him into a corner? You asked him. Well, you know me, I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty, Hawk said with a wink. Don't you worry about what I'm going to do. You just let me handle it. I'm very suspicious, you admitted, giving him another side look. But I'll trust you for now. Would you trust me in the bedroom? He leered, taking the conversation south. Definitely not, you teased. Oh, my heart, he groaned, acting like your words had wounded him. I'll try again later. Fine, he sighed, pretending like you didn't want him to get you between the sheets. I guess we can go to my room. Oh, yes, he hummed happily, getting up eagerly from his chair with coffee still half drunk. That next day, Hawks was on a mission. He just needed to get some evidence before he approached the boss, and thankfully, the evidence fell right into his lap. As the sun came up, Hawks was keeping tabs on your and his boss, following him from home to work to see if he met up with anyone at any point, and by anyone, he meant Manihara. Nothing seemed amiss at first, but when the boss took a detour to a coffee shop out of town and went in to have an early morning coffee with Miss Manihara, well, that certainly didn't look too good. Hawks quickly snapped a photo or two and took off, keeping them on his person for a later date that morning. Around 10 a.m. he asked to see his boss in his office and promptly waited outside the door for the boss to call him in. Good morning, Hawks greeted in his slightly sarcastic voice. He was full of cockiness that morning and nothing was going to stop him from bringing this little ring of lies undone. What can I do for you, Hawks? The boss asked. Well, first of all, you can start by telling me who it was that came to you about getting a change of rules for the co-worker dating, Hawks said pointedly. That is none of your concern, the boss retorted, standing up from his chair. Oh, I think it is, Hawks replied smugly. I love this side of Hawks. He's on the warpath now. Look out. See you in the next chapter.